I was really thrilled that Tom Lyons chose to come to MSU, and as well, he's a professor and director of the MSU Product Center. We already have a good relationship with Product Center and working with them in a number of ways, and hope we can continue to do that. So Tom's here to talk about the Product Center. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you. Thanks, Rich, and good morning, everyone. I have been in the role of the director of the Product Center for all of 3 months as of today. But I've been asked many times, what is the MSU Product Center, Food, Ag, Bio? And I find that I gravitate back to our vision statement when I think about this, because I think it does the best job of encapsulating what we do. So you can see that we strive to be the go-to place for venture development assistance and market assessment research in the 4 sectors that we serve in Michigan, industry sectors. So those being food, agriculture, natural resources, and bioproducts or bioprocessing. This suggests 2 main streams of activity, one being venture development, the other being what we call market assessment, but we call actually strategic research within the Product Center. And I want to talk a little bit more about those momentarily, but first I want to talk more broadly about the Product Center. We have a little over 20 staff, both on-campus staff and field staff, and we're all quite real, but the Product Center itself is rather virtual because we're a network. We've heard a lot about networks today. We're a network of resources, and in particular resources to entrepreneurs who want to start, grow, and sustain a business in the 4 sectors that we serve. So we think of ourselves as basically managing a pipeline of entrepreneurs and their ventures. We're trying to manage the flow and the volume in that pipeline. And really what we do is move entrepreneurs from stage 0, which its name suggests, there is no business. The entrepreneur has an idea. That idea needs to be refined, a business plan is needed, and some of the pre-venture activities like proof of concept testing need to take place. Then we want to move them to stage 1, where they're actually opening their doors. We call it launching the business, and they're in operation and they're beginning to develop profits, or at least breaking even. Ultimately, we want to move them to stage 2. And stage 2 is really where the growth takes place. This is where individual entrepreneurs generate wealth for themselves, for their families, and collectively for their communities. That's the ideal state where we want to take them. So that's the pipeline that we serve. Now, how do we do it? Well, we bridge the gap that exists out there between the entrepreneurs and the resources being provided. Entrepreneurs don't always know about what resources are available to them. They don't always know how to use them. They're not always well prepared to use them, even though they are available. And so we try to work with them that way. Now, our networks are both within the MSU campus and outside of it. So within the campus, we bring together our 10-person campus staff. We bring those folks and their expertise to bear. Faculty who have relevant expertise, and specialists on the campus with relevant expertise. So we network all those folks. But then kind of in the middle here, they're MSU employees, but they're also out in the field, are what we call our innovation counselors, the Innovation Council Network. They're spread throughout the state, working directly with entrepreneurs in the 4 sectors that we serve. And then we also have a set of public and private partners out there, a rather thick, deep network of folks out there who also are available to work with our client. We pull that all together, we kind of see ourselves as a single point of entry or a doorway to these resources. Our goal is to get the entrepreneur the right help, no matter what it is, technical assistance, business development assistance, at the right time, which means the right place in their development as an entrepreneur and the right place in the development of their business as it moves forward through business life cycle. Now, we don't do all this alone. We have partners, we have sponsors, very generous sponsors, both MSU Extension and MSU Ag Bio Research sponsor us, and we have a great faculty after. So let me talk a little bit more about these two programs that I briefly discussed and how they're blended, actually, because they're distinct in some ways, but they're blended in others. So our venture development efforts involve several things. One is that Innovation Counselors Network that I already talked about. Another are what we call specialized services, and this is where we help entrepreneurs with food safety issues, with labeling of food products, with concept development, and also with packaging. These specialized services are kind of a unique niche for us because there's very little of this kind of help throughout the state, particularly not in one place where you can get it all. And that's very important, particularly to our stage 0 entrepreneurs. We also do venture acceleration, which involves counseling to second stage companies. And we're hoping that we're going to be ramping that up very soon because next fall, the fall of 2017, we expect to bring online our new Food Processing and Innovation Center, the FPIC, which is actually a place where second stage entrepreneurs can go to test new product concepts and also other aspects of competitive advantage before they actually take those things to market and grow their business and scale them up. Strategic research involves several types of research. Probably our signature research is our applied research, where we do high quality, responsive, quick turnaround work for industries, also for individual entrepreneurs, and this is the connection, the blending, if you will. We have a merging set of skills and capacity in monitoring and evaluation and impact assessment. We're starting to do that more for folks throughout the campus and throughout the state. And we do a modicum right now of academic research, although we are working on a plan to move more of that forward. Because what we want our strategic research program to be essentially is a place that generates research, disseminates it, and applies it, and does all of those things well. We've been pretty busy since our inception back in 2003, and you can see the numbers from 2004 going forward. The middle column is a combination of all our efforts. The rightmost column is the most recent fiscal year. You can see that we have done nearly 50,000 one-on-one client counseling sessions over the time we've been in existence. We've helped about 4,500 clients with business concept development, startup work, actually getting ready to move toward launch with 2,269 clients, specialized services for 2,500 plus. And maybe the most important number here is the bottom one, what we call these venture launches. That's where the businesses actually get going, they're generating profits, and they're having economic impact in their local communities and throughout the state. And there have been 543 of those so far. And that, of course, has a ripple effect. Those 543 businesses have resulted in, we've helped them to increase their annual sales by nearly $380 million over the time of operation. The value of increased investments beyond the initial investment, about $372 million. Jobs created, about 2,500. Jobs retained, about 780. So over this time, we've had considerable impact, and these numbers are pretty impressive. But you know, for me, as being a newbie, I think perhaps even more impressive are the stories we've been collecting about the entrepreneurs who are behind these companies. People who have come from almost virtually nothing, and they've created something that they're really proud of, they feel empowered by, they are generating wealth from, and they're contributing to their communities through. And we have a lot of those stories. If you're interested, please contact us. We'd love to share those stories. They're inspiring, they're heartwarming, and I think they remind us every day at the Product Center of why we do this work. because this is a place where I see my staff. They work not only with their heads, but they work with their hearts. And places like that, I found in my career, are rare. So I'll conclude my comments with that and entertain any questions.
Okay, that's good, Tom. We have one question. We have a second question. So this one, I'll just read it. Is that
Sure. What do you or your innovation counselors tell a beginning food entrepreneur who is extremely risk averse? Yeah, I think that for somebody who's risk averse, you have to understand that you're not doing this alone. I mean, one of the reasons that you're working with the Product Center is that we're bringing to bear all kinds of partners for you to work with. I've talked to many entrepreneurs or would-be entrepreneurs who say to me, well, I don't know if I can do this all by myself. And my answer is, you don't have to. You absolutely do not have to. That's what we're here for. And so I think that's the first thing we tell folks as we begin to work with them. And what I found is as you begin to work with entrepreneurs and they begin to understand what they know and what they need to know, that empowers them. And when they're empowered, they start thinking bigger about their business. When you think bigger about your business, you're going to create something that can be truly successful. And then you are operating like a classic entrepreneur in every sense of that word.
I don't see another question. But Tom, you had some material that you wanted to
Well, we
share.
do. I did bring some of our annual reports, our most recent annual reports. Love to share those with you. They are not the ponderous things that corporations produce. They're quite thin. A lot of very beautiful pictures in them. It's a really nice piece of work, and it gives you a good general understanding of the kinds of things that we do and where you can go to reach us. And let me just mention that if you want to contact us on the web, please go to productcenter.msu.edu. Find a place there where you can register to become a client if that's what you're interested in. You'll also find a lot of interesting information too. Oh, thanks, Brent. Brent has actually picked up the folder here with the annual reports. Yeah, sure.
And we'll get those emails of those other individuals in Zoom, so you can send them the link to that.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.